055279.
Okay, thank you. I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, Molly.
Hi, remind me who's there? I'm sorry.
Ray, Win,
Doug?
Doug.
And Matt.
Doug.
I count two. Alrighty, it is July 17th, 2:38 p.m. We're going to start our Waterways Advisory Committee meeting. Action item number 1, discussion decision regarding approval of the Waterways Advisory Board minutes from April 17th of 2025. Does anybody have a motion or anything?
Well, the only motion I'd like to make is that we haven't read it. And in the past, we always requested that it would come at least a day in advance, if not a week in advance, but give us time to read it. It's pretty tough to approve something we haven't read.
Makes sense. Maybe we can all just take a minute to glance over it and then we can.
Well, I need more than a minute. Let's put it off till next week, next meeting.
Is that a motion?
I move that it puts off till next meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay.
We need to have the courtesy of having these in advance.
Can I apologize that I have been one person doing the work of two since August?
And it's not on you at all.
I'm just saying.
We're meeting once a quarter. It's not unreasonable for volunteer members to ask to have the courtesy to read this ahead of time rather than
I
to.
understand that, and I apologize.
Okay, well, sounds like we will bring action item number 1 back in October. Number 2, public comment. Any public comment? Any public comment online? No? Going once, going twice.
Molly's saying it online.
What's that?
Molly's saying it online.
Yeah, okay. Not hearing any public comment, we'll move on to number 3, Parks and Waterways, updates and reports. I am Matt Zoller, the director. Number 1 is the Garfield Bay grant. Just let everybody in the community know that we have completed that grant and we have closed it out. That was going to be a project that was started, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago, and had seen a few extensions, and we were fortunate enough to have our maintenance crew come through with us and the state work with us, and great project. 9 new picnic tables and 6 new benches out at Garfield, so go enjoy them. They're ADA accessible. It's nice to update the parks, and it's a great project.
Can I add that I've had quite a few phone calls saying how wonderful it is, so it's good.
Perfect.
Positive.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Number 2, something that we have been kind of working on since I've been here anyways, was the Coolin Swim Beach. That's something that Bonner County and the Priest Lake or Coolin Lions Club have worked together to try to revamp the beach that everybody seems to love so dearly. What was going on was we had a timber retaining wall, and the idea was to do a replacing kind project where we went with concrete barriers to build up the wall. Hopefully that'll last a long time. We went with high quality materials, and I've seen the finished product. It looks great. So if you're up at Priest Lake and want to go for a little lunch and enjoy the new swim beach, yeah, it looks great, and super happy with the way that turned out. And then
Question.
Yeah, sure.
Is that the project that the 2 gentlemen were here last year, or? Oh, that we're with, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Coolin Swim Beach. Yeah, it's kind of a
It's
Yeah.
not at the docks, it's kind of in between the two launches?
Yep, you
Oh,
got
okay,
it. You
okay.
got the exact right
Okay,
spot.
right. Okay, well, that's great. Yeah,
So-
great.
So that's done now.
It's done.
Awesome.
They're
All right.
working on. I just got done talking to one of the, I think Dave Patton, and really easy to work with him, and he helps spearhead a lot of it. And so anybody in the community who knows Dave, thank you, Dave. Yeah, it turned out awesome. I think they're getting ready to reseed it, and they're putting water on it, and hopefully we'll have some grass and it'll look great again, and hopefully it'll look great for the next 50 years. And really thankful for the community wanting to take care of that area. So yeah, glad we could help out, get some blocks for the contractors, and yeah, Lions Club help with the rest, and yeah, thankful for everybody's efforts. And then number 3, the Narrows buoys, that was one of the, I should say, documented requests from last summer. I believe that was from Yvonne. You guys are familiar with Yvonne and the Narrows. She had requested, I think, multiple buoys, and before I got here, it was approved by the board and by Pete, I believe. And so we went ahead and honored that, and we put those buoys out. She gave me a call, and she didn't really like the location of them. And so I went out and took a look at them. And it makes sense because everything that was promised that was mapped on GIS it was out on 2 prominent points. I'm sure you've seen them around the Narrows, but it makes sense to have them out on the points so as people sweep around the corners, they see them. And then also our maintenance crew ran into a problem where the shelf that they're sitting on, they think that there's a possibility we might lose them or they might slip off the shelf. So we're kind of waiting to see if they're going to hold through the summer before we apply officially through IDL. It's kind of like testing them before we set anything in concrete per se. But yeah, they are out there. So Yvonne, hope you're satisfied.
Question.
Yep.
So on the Narrows, there was one at each end, correct?
Yeah, there's 2 buoys total, one at each of the points.
On each end.
Yep.
Both of them have the same issue?
One of them has an issue, and I would have to double check on the second one. I can't confirm. I know one of them definitely had an issue, though.
And since we're talking about buoys, did we ever get our buoy guidelines approved through legal?
Yeah, so that was back in January, I think, or would have been the April meeting. I think if we look through the minutes, I might have said something about it, but
Yeah, it says in the
yeah,
minutes it wasn't
still
approved.
finally. Yep. So all good there. Like I said, they're just guidelines. It's not law, so it's all good.
So they're all, it's finalized?
Yep. And so that is just for everybody who's listening. It's publicly available. It's on our Waterways website, on the county website under recreation. All you have to do is go online and download the PDF, and it is a self-filling out form. We've actually received a few buoy applications from the online portion, so it seems like it's successful. Most people have the internet these days, and if you don't have the internet, feel free to drop into the county building and ask for myself or Carrie. We'll get you a copy of one and see if it meets the criteria. But it seems like it at least is accessible to everybody.
So when we created those guidelines for the county, which took many, many years, my understanding was the spirit of that, of the guidelines was that if there was any, if they met the guidelines of the buoy registration, that we could discuss it as a waterways meeting, and if everyone agreed, we could approve it right here. Or if there was still further questions, Doug would go out to the site and look at them. And what I'm bringing to the table is, I'm bringing Jim's request for a hazard buoy that we've discussed for 2 years. And as we know, Jim is resigning from our Waterways Committee, and one of his pet peeves is that no one's following through as to what we're talking about. And so I'm just bringing it to the table so we can talk about it. And that's one, and the other one is mine on on the Ponderay River. It meets all the guidelines, and if Doug's not familiar with it, Doug can go send someone out there and take a look at it. If it meets the guidelines, we can approve it right here, and we don't need an application.
Well, so that's kind of the reason for why we've had a problem through the past is there's too many people skipping just a formal process, and even kind of as I sit here, where I was able to get Yvonne's buoys out there because there's documentation, and I kind of hear what you're saying, and that's kind of why we put the timeline where the goal is now that we have these buoy applications online and available in our office for, like I said, anybody listening. The goal is we get all of these buoy applications by August 1st, and that's what's on the guideline. And then me and Doug, either one of us could go out, we could tag team it together. If I don't have time, I'll reach out and just ask for a hand or a set of eyes. And so there, we will go out and look and just kind of see the circumstances on the ground. And if it meets those qualifications, we'll just go ahead and approve it, and then we'll bring it to the meeting to formalize it. So that's kind of the new process is instead of just approving it without ground truthing it, we can actually get everybody, have a deadline, everybody knows the deadline, and then that gives us pretty much most of October and parts of September, depends on boats and weather and how all that goes. That gives us a little bit of time before the October Waterways meeting.
And I can see that for 95% of the cases, but I'm saying if we look at Jim's scenario, he brought it to the table. I mean, why can't we approve it unless the sheriff feels different? Why can't we approve it here and go forward? I mean, I just don't understand. And with the two on the Ponderay River, why can't we discuss that, vote on it, and move forward? We're the voting party anyway.
Yeah, did you, was this something that you had submitted?
I never submitted.
Okay, so
It was
that's,
submitted it was called to Pete.
okay,
And as we were doing our process, we were right at the end of getting everything approved 2 years ago. And it's two inlets on the river, just upriver from Priest River on the Highway 2 side.
okay, so here's what I'll ask, if you don't mind, is let's put this thing together that we voted on to formalize the process. If you want, go ahead and fill out the paperwork, and then as long as it's in by August 1st, me and Doug will go out and take a look at it. And then we're following the order for the rules we set for ourselves.
And what about Priest Lake?
Priest Lake, if you'd like to fill one out, or even Jim can fill one out formally. I think what happened is it slipped through the cracks, honestly, where I know we discussed it and then we kind of voted on this process. Now, I haven't been out to go look at new buoy verifications yet, as the ones are coming in yet. Like I said, the goal was we would receive the applications up to August 1st, and then me and Doug can go out in August and the beginning of September and go ground truth this stuff in time for the October meeting. So
So this is the first time I'm hearing this here. So now it's basically, we're expecting any applications this year to be done in the next 2 weeks.
that's correct. Yep. And yeah, so anybody in the public listening who would like to put one in, you have 2 weeks to do so. And hopefully that's enough time. And then that'll be our deadline for next summer's buoy requests. And in August and September, me and Doug will go out and ground truth them. And then if we don't find that it's going to meet its requirements, then we'll notify the applicant. And from there, if they don't like that answer with our reasons why, they're more than welcome to bring it to the October Waterways meeting, and they can pitch their case to the board.
Okay, I agree, move forward.
Cool.
So, but how?
I have a question.
Sure.
Hey, Matt, do you need to get a permit for or approval for a hazard buoy? I thought that's kind of up to your department.
From when I was discussing with Tyler Warner, is anything that gets put out there, regardless of hazard or no wake navigational, anything that we put out in the water needs to be permitted.
Okay.
So who's gonna do Priest Lake? Jim's not. You got his email.
Well, I mean, we already know the location of that. This is the one that has the bucket on it.
Yeah, the bucket buoy. And like I said, I think it's just kind of slipped through the cracks. And I think just since as we've, as a board, worked together to formalize this process, I think we should follow that process. So I think if you would like to on,
I know nothing about Priestley. I'm very not familiar there. So
So you're saying somebody needs to submit an application, someone from the Waterways Board?
that would be helpful just for documentation and trailing this thing. So it was Jim that brought this up, correct? The bucket buoy.
Correct.
So what I can do is, and I just got that email today, and like I said, I felt bad that I know he had brought it up at previous meetings, and just through growing this Waterways Committee and just kind of our practices, we voted to do this, and so now we're going to try to follow the rules that we voted on. And so, Jim, if you're out there listening, sorry, buddy.
Matt, I would suggest you consider Jim's email an application because of the nature and the history
Sure.
of this thing.
I will consider that.
If you need that as a motion, I'd be happy to make that as a motion.
Molly?
I mean, I agree with that process. That would be easiest. And then also that Jim's not attending anymore. He's not a board member anymore.
True. Okay, so we should go ahead and put a motion in to consider Jim's request, and then I will formalize it on paper.
So moved.
Wait,
Second.
I was on the update report.
Yes, because,
Okay, we can't do a motion.
okay, no motions on reports yet. We
It wasn't
can,
on the agenda, so it can't be done.
yep, we can do that in miscellaneous items. Well, actually, no, we can't do anything because it's not on the agenda. Okay, yeah, we can't do any votes unless it's on the agenda. So it's a discussion,
so if
and
nothing's on the agenda, we can't vote on anything unless it's on the agenda.
You can only vote if you agendize the motion as a decision item.
and like I
An
said,
action item.
correct.
So let me,
Thanks for keeping me in check.
it puts us in a scenario that we only meet a quarterly, and we get the agenda, we have no input into the agenda, and when you come to a meeting, we can't really discuss it and move it forward, and we put it off for another 3 months.
I think as a courtesy to Jim, I think I will send him an application and then we can formalize it. Like I said, then we don't need to worry about voting and being upset about meeting quarterly.
So you're gonna handle it,
Sure.
okay?
Easy enough. Easy peasy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well done.
Okay. And yeah, so anyways, that's the update on the Narrows buoys. We didn't take a vote. Worked out. Thanks for keeping me in check. And those are all the updates I have. Like I said, Garfield Bay Grant picnic tables, amazing. Cool and Swim Beach Lions Club, thank you so much. Narrows buoys installed, and we're kind of waiting to see if they're going to stick on that shelf they're sitting on. And then that leads into Doug. Do you have any updates from the Marine Division?
So it's definitely been a busy summer so far. We had the fatality on the river, 2 plane crashes, handful of boat crashes, and then of course the windstorm the last few days. So that was a lot of fun. Staffing is still pretty low. There's 10 people in the unit, including myself. It should be about 16. So trying to staff both lakes and the river every day is definitely a challenge, but we're doing the best we can. The WIF grant that we got for the new motors, that's been completed and finalized. So the motors are on, the boat's in the water, running great. And we got that all finalized with IDPR. So on that, if anybody was looking for a job, we're hiring, but.
Question.
Yeah.
Back in 2019, from the boat inspections, the 3 boat inspections that we have coming into Bonner County, there was approximately 19,000 boats that came in. And then last year, at the end of October, where they stopped, the count for last year was 26,000. which was an increase of like 40%. Are you seeing that 40% on the waters?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's so much water out there. It's hard to say. I mean, the congested areas are still congested, and you get out into some of the open water areas, and there's still plenty of space. So it's hard to measure that. We are seeing a fair amount of traffic out there. I'm still not seeing as many Canadian boaters as we saw pre-COVID. So I don't know.
This year or just after?
Actually, since COVID, we really have not seen as many as we used to. We still have a lot of Idaho boaters, Washington boaters, Montana boaters out there. So there's a lot of that. We do have, I think, more rental companies out there now. So that's increasing some of our boating traffic as well. And it's great that people come here on vacation and they get a chance to go out and enjoy the waterways, but it also sometimes comes with very inexperienced boaters at the helm, so that can cause some issues at times. But it has been busy on the water so far these first several weeks of the summer.
And the reason I bring that up is because when you show 40% increase in boat traffic coming into Bonner County, and the dollars and cents that the parks and waterways get from registrations, right, has over the last 3 years has kind of been flat. And
Right. Well, and like we talked about before, so first, the boat check stations don't necessarily equate to people that are coming to
Correct.
boat on our waters.
Correct, right.
They could be passing through.
Yep.
And then because we know everybody has up to 60 days to operate without having to register their boat, if they're coming from another state and they're just going to be here for a short period of time, there would be no reason for them to register, which would show us any increase in funding at all, except for invasive species stickers. And I don't have the data on that. We don't track that.
just wanted to share.
Yeah. No, it's good data, but it's hard to say, how much of that is impacting us and how much is just passing through our area, going somewhere else too. That's all I got.
Thanks for the update.
All right.
Cool to see you. Surprised you're able to get off the water. It's pretty nice out there.
That's my day off, so I'm,
Oh, of course.
got plenty of time.
Day off, but yeah, no days off. All right, great. We'll go ahead and move on to number 4, old business. This is going to be just a little update on the WIF grant. And this is in regards to the Waterways tow vessel. Just keep everybody updated that this was awarded. This was for a tow vessel for the maintenance boat that our maintenance crew hauls back and forth between the Pend Oreille River, Priest Lake, and Lake Pend Oreille. An amazing opportunity to keep our crew in one vehicle instead of taking 2 vehicles everywhere. So yay for efficiency. That's great. Ray, I'm sure you're a big part of that, helping that get awarded. So definitely appreciative. And I know, hopefully we'll be able to put that to good use. And like I said, it's predicted hopefully that truck will last the next 15 years. And I think it's going to be a really big asset. So we're appreciative of all of our WIF members and helping us award that.
So one of the big selling points was the fact that you're running 2 older vehicles, I don't know, diesel or gas, and it was going to save money. So what kind of dollars do you think the Waterways will save with the new truck?
I'd say if we're going from 2 vehicles down to 1, 50%. How's that?
In dollars and cents, is that like $1,000, $2,000? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I would predict it to be probably a few thousand in savings in just fuel alone.
Okay.
Let alone, I know our risk department wasn't super keen on having people out on the water all day and then having 2 vehicles out. It's just A, it's adding extra drive time and extra vehicles on the road. B, as most of the people know in the community, when you go boating all day, you're normally pretty tired when you get off the water, been out in the sun all day. And it's not great to have, another person behind the wheel who could potentially fall asleep. Never good. Or animals, anything. So, really fortunate for that. And our commissioners actually just signed to accept that grant, which was great. Part of that was we're going to dive into $10,000 of our Waterways money, and then the county is putting up another $11,000 to meet the $21,000 of match to make this project go. So super excited to try to shuffle some money and start shopping for a new truck. Always thankful for Idaho Parks and Rec for making these kind of things happen. I think Peter's here today, maybe filling in or hanging out as our water guy and hanging out maybe for Anissa. Who knows? Any words, Peter?
On the grant? Or
Sure.
in general? Well, I was texting you as they were looking at it, but I know that one thing on that the committee was pretty excited to see, and actually in my initial opinion, was probably the difference was the fact that it was diesel
Yeah.
that we had outgoing was a gas.
It was a gas rig, and I know coming out of the Garfield Bay ramp, it's nearly a mile incline up, and it was probably more hazard than it was efficiency. But and it's also nice to have an exhaust brake, so especially when you're going down that grade to go launch that boat over there. So yeah, really thankful that I'm sure you were part of that as well, sitting on those boards.
Well, officially I'm there to just give objective analysis, but
And we're thankful for that because obviously it worked out that it made sense.
oh, absolutely.
So appreciate everybody involved, Ray, Peter, everybody. Thankful that that went through. I know it's a bit of a process to get these grants to go.
So another question, you bring up that they're pulling 10,000 from the Waterways Fund and 10,000 or 11,000 from the county. So how is this gonna, I know over the last few years, everyone's strapped for dollars and cents, and if
Certainly
the
are.
registration dollars aren't increasing to grow with the amount of people coming into our county, how is it going to affect your operating for the next, because right now, they took $10,000, when right now, it's probably the time of the year when you got the most money in your bank.
Yeah, that's correct. And so that's why auditing approved this move, was that they looked at the money we've spent this year and the money we're receiving, and they determined that the offset could be roughly $10,000 out of our program, where it wouldn't affect our program too bad as we are kind of in the peak of our season. And so really we're sitting pretty well the way it's going to go, with the county contributing some and us also pulling some out of our Waterways account. Yeah, so thank you all. We're excited to get that officially handed off to Kathy Muir and Susan and get that all signed off. And thanks to Anissa and Peter and everybody involved in this whole process. It's going to be a great thing for the county. And then another old business update. I know we've been talking about the ORFAC grant since I've been here. That was something that kind of kicked off at the end of September or October, I believe. And we're still talking about this. This was for the Priest Lake Navigation Light project of putting all new pilings in up at Priest Lake so we could redo our navigation lights. And then also this was for the Granite Creek Dock project out on Lake Pend Oreille. Currently all of our dolphins have come apart, our pilings are coming apart. Anybody who's visited the Granite Creek Dock knows it's kind of in sad shape and need repair. And this is the easiest, I guess, way we could tackle it within our restrictions. And so currently talked with Kathy Muir, reached out to her, and the ORFAC board was supposed to reach out to me. And so she's prodding the project along. Back in January, they were supposed to send off an official agreement acceptance between the state and the county, and we still haven't seen that yet. So from what I've been told is that money is available to us, but we're still waiting on the official agreement, and it'd be probably bad interest to spend money before you have something on a signature line. So we're waiting on that. Kathy seems pretty optimistic, really glad that, like I said, Kathy and Anissa have been kind of helping me out with this. And as of, I think, earlier this week, Kathy reached out and said that she would nudge the ORFAC board and hopefully get some paperwork signed so we can move forward with that.
Wasn't one of the requirements that it had to be completed within a year?
Yeah, and like most grants, there's typically an extension process, and I think from the conversations I've had is we would definitely be allowed an extension given that other groups have already gotten their commitment signed and we haven't received ours yet. And I know everybody's doing the best they can. It's just like a lot of processes in the government right now. It's a little jumbled and takes a minute to sort through stuff. So we're still working on that project. We're hopefully moving forward on it soon as we get the official signature.
And just to throw something else in there, being part of the grant process, over probably the last four years, I've seen a lot of projects come through and the dollars and cents didn't equal to what the project grant was.
Yeah.
Where it's the cost of merchandise or labor, everything is going up. Not to forget, you can go and reapply to get those dollars too, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, working with the state's been pretty great. Obviously, the county, when we get our groomer money for grooming snowmobile trails and our waterways money, it's just the county managing it at the local money, but that money does come from the state. And so we try to work with everybody and try to come up with the best program we can. And then new business, this is kind of an interesting one that's been getting kicked around. I don't know if any of you guys have been watching the commissioner meetings. It is the discussion on the county giving away Bonner Park West. The thought is to potentially give the park to the city of Priest River. Jeff Conley came into one of our commissioner meetings and spoke about it and just kind of shared his vision, what that would be for the development of that area if the city were to, I guess, receive that park. And so I figured since that is our only county-owned parcel of land that we have on the Pend Oreille River and one of our only parks that we really own that's easily available to the public, especially for the city of Priest River, would be to just discuss some options. So currently they're talking about giving away Bonner Park West. And this is, when I say they, I mean, this is a commissioner thing. So to give Bonner Park West to the city of Priest River is an option. And that would basically, that park was built in 1983 with land and water conservation funding. So although possible to give it away to the city, it would take a lot of legal to change the custodianship. And then, like I said, Kathy Meir would probably have to step back in at that point to figure out how to make that happen. So kind of complicated. The way I look at it as a program manager is giving away a park as I wear a county hat today. Probably not of great interest to the county because we don't know what the city would do with it in the future. Would they charge fees? Would they do a better job? Yes, no, maybe all the above, who knows? So that's one option, is to give that parcel of land to the city of Priest River so they can manage it. Another option would be to lease Bonner Park West to the city of Priest River, maybe a 99-year lease agreement. And my thought would be to use that money in the lease to help fund our Parks and Waterways Department. I know we get a lot of state money and we get a little bit of tax revenue from the county itself to help make this program run, but maybe as we look at more options for grant sourcing, if we lease that park without giving it away, we could use that as match for grants for other park projects. Could be good, so maybe it could be win-win. And then another option is to number 3, which is to keep Bonner Park West as a Bonner County facility, and that would be basically voting to say, you know, as a Waterways Committee, you guys would recommend that we keep that park in the county name. And kind of what that guarantees is, as that park was built with the Land and Water Conservation Fund, is that was supposed to be public access available into perpetuity. Perpetuity means, you know, forever. And so if we keep that park as a Bonner County park, it's allowing water access into perpetuity because we are controlling the land and we build it, so we kind of have the ultimate say in this. And then also some of the gripes I've heard have been that the county isn't maintaining it to the level that it should be maintained. And as I tell everybody, I know Taylor, you probably also resonate with this, is we do the best ability we can with the funding we have. And we're all interested in public lands and we're doing our best. And I think, we can always provide services if we had an unlimited pot of money per se. That would be super helpful. Unfortunately, we don't. And so it makes struggle for all land managers to manage, certain sites that the public, places a higher priority importance on, or they love a park more or less than another park. And I think we could do a better job. I think also as a county, we need to recognize is that a goal of the county to make the park better? And should we be getting more money? But the main thing is the county, as the development continues to grow, is we would always have that waterfront boat launch and park in the county name. So those are kind of the pros and cons of either giving Bonner Park West away, leasing Bonner Park West, or keeping Bonner Park West. And so it can be a discussion or an action item. I don't know if you guys would like to take a vote on it as to what your recommendations, and we can start with a discussion first, pros and cons.
Well, and before we go forward, how much time do we have on this?
Let's just
No,
say
not time today.
today.
I mean, time that we need to make a decision.
It doesn't sound like it's in a state of rush. It does sound like it's coming down the pipe sooner than later, but I would say we could even bring it back to discuss it more or vote on it in the October Waterways meeting. So if anybody would like to just say their opinion now, or do we decide we want to take a vote on it? I don't know how keen you guys are on the situation or what your thoughts are, or if you just want to talk about it, pros, cons. But yeah, just leading it in as a discussion and or action item to see, as a Waterways committee, what do you think about giving away this park to the city, leasing this park to the city, or keeping it within the county? It's just, you guys are our advisors. We want to hear what you want to say.
Well, I can start.
Sure. Ray will give you the next 15 minutes.
Okay, well, first of all, does everyone know the Two Rivers project that Priest River is doing? And I'm not sure that what I'm saying is 100% correct, but so next to the ramp is what the Two Rivers project, which the city of Priest River is doing, and it's like 30 acres, or it goes right around into the Priest River coming down. And I have to tell you, I like the project. The project, when Jeff Conley became mayor, I talked to Jeff and I says, the most important thing Priest River has to do, in my view, is when people are going through Priest River, when my family goes through Priest River, they don't want me to stop. And I'm saying, create things for people to stop. When you go through Sandpoint, hey, we want to stop. We just don't want to go through Sandpoint. So find opportunities to create people to stop. Priest River is kind of a poor town in running their town. Probably close to the waterways for Bonner County. No monies. When we were talked about revenue bringing into Bonner County, I called Jeff Conley and asked him about Bonner West, about launch fees. And he was total 100% on board that he felt it needed to be done. So any movement that we give to Priest River, I believe very strongly that Jeff Conley is going to make it a fee-based launch fee. Because the town needs the revenue for doing that. My other opinion is that 3-4 months ago, whenever this came to be, is when, and I may be wrong in what I'm sharing here, it's only what I know, is that Matt, when you brought it up to the commissioners to have someone host that site, Commissioner Williams, you didn't have either the host or the money to host.
We actually had the ability to do both. It was a memo. So we had the money budgeted from, it was accepted the previous year, and we had a host lined up. So at that time, we were asking just for permission to sign a contract. And that wasn't the way the board wanted to move forward, especially with this idea pending. And so they held off. We had the money and the host
Okay,
lined up,
so,
yeah.
so as a public,
Yeah,
I got the impression that you don't have the money, and that if you can't, and we don't have a plan.
yeah.
I mean, we've talked about a 5-year plan, we don't have a plan. I'm not so sure if number 3 even plays a part in this without a plan. I think we need a plan. And if we're gonna, and it's not that I, personally, I think that's one of the greatest assets for the future for the waterways is Bonner County West. I think it could bring a lot of revenue in.
Sure.
Okay, so would I want, as a member here, would I want to vote against not holding it? No, I don't want to go that route. But at the same time, if we don't have a plan, they have a plan, and I like their plan. Now, as far as the commissioners are concerned, that if we go to a lease and take monies there, I'm not so sure the commissioners will like that plan. And I don't know.
You don't think they'd like a plan where we'd make money?
Well, when I hear a commissioner wanting to give our launch away to the city of Priest River for nothing, that's in my mind, that I'm saying the commissioners want to hear from us and have a plan that would take care of number 3, that would move forward. Number 3 is for the waterways, in my eyes, should be the only option we have. But there's 2 big walls to climb that I'm not so sure we can climb them.
Sure.
That's what my thoughts are.
Matt, if I could interject.
Absolutely. And I forgot, I'm sorry, I forgot you guys have more stuff going on, so this actually can only go to 3:30. So we do have the next 9 minutes.
In the interest of time, I think there's a lot more information I would like to have
Sure.
before we make such a decision that would spell the future for folks yet unseen.
Sure.
I have big questions about the legality of this in the first place. I would like to see what agreements we made to create it in the first place. Are there other alternatives? Certainly, if Priest River can make money with this piece of property, maybe we should be making money with this
Yeah,
piece of property.
exactly.
So I would, in the interest of time, say maybe we could do a workshop or a single agenda item where we could carve out some time to look at this issue.
Yeah, maybe we could do a workshop where we'd invite Jeff Conley. And I know last time at the commissioner meeting, there was a private corporation that was coming in to build marinas where the park is now. And it wasn't really spelled out really clear. It basically made it sound like they're going to privatize the marina and use that money to maintain the park. And I didn't really get any numbers or details on that. So maybe we could all have a workshop and come together and kind of clarify that kind of stuff.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of gray here on this issue. Doug, any thoughts?
Yeah, just from a public safety perspective, being the guy who has to manage public safety on the most waterways in the state of Idaho, one of my long-term concerns is the lack of county facilities on the water.
Yeah.
And this is one of the few that we have.
Yeah.
If we give that away, then we potentially lose access, or we have to carve out that access
Yeah.
with the city. And I just want to make sure that that's something that's thought of and considered as we move forward forward in that, whatever direction the commissioners decide to go.
Sure.
That we recognize that, as I try to stage boats around the county to be able to respond to incidents, a good chunk of the facilities I use are not county-owned. They are private marinas. They are the Corps' facilities, and some of the ones that we do have, like Garfield Bay, which is fish and game, but managed by us,
Right.
Becomes largely unusable big, times of the year because of the weather out there. So I think it just has to be a consideration that, if we give away some of the little land we have on the waterways, we're giving up things other than just access to that or management of that land. We're also potentially giving up access if we don't consider that.
Yeah, no, that's a way I didn't really look at from before. Obviously, we share our pot of money, and I'm looking at it, things from the maintenance side, you look at things through the safety and enforcement side, and so that's a really great point to bring to the table. Molly, did you have any thoughts? We got about the next, about another 6 minutes here, if you would like to weigh in.
Well, I just agree with having a workshop.
Okay.
I think there's just a lot that needs to be discussed that we might not even be thinking about right now. And I agree with everybody that we need to, I think the county needs to maintain some control over access. And so whatever decisions made that they benefit from the agreement, and that the public benefits from that agreement, and that's very clear. So yeah, I say we schedule a workshop. I don't know how easily that would be to do today in scheduling it, but
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to schedule today. I'll just look at some dates and we'll schedule that with Elisa, and then hopefully we'll be able to get Jeff Conley and his folks who were pitching their ideas at one of the business meetings, and we'll all come together and be able to voice concerns and ideas and figure out, pros and cons, right? And then move forward with whatever is the, most desirable outcome for the public. And then also considering the legalities as well, because it's hard to move forward if there's strange legalities around it.
yeah, and it seems like the timeline for the development of that waterfront portion of the park is pretty unknown.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm not seeing it come to fruition very quickly, but I could be wrong about that. And also maybe the commissioner liaison for the waterways could be at that meeting also.
Yeah, that would make sense. That makes sense to me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that's everybody on the board. Yeah, so everybody on the board, Elisa just sent out that link to that business meeting where Jeff Conley spoke and some of the private sector folks spoke to pitch their idea. So if that would be helpful to you guys, take a look, spread the word. You guys are tied to the community. Other than that, I agree. I'm glad we kept this as a discussion item for today. And it's a lot to chew over, pros and cons, especially between maintenance, access, the future, legalities, enforcement and safety. It's a big topic. And so, I think a workshop would be in the best interest. And we'll work together to set that up.
Hey, I see that Taylor's in the audience. Taylor, did you have something to say today? Or I'd be curious what's going on with Springy Point at this point.
I'm here just to answer questions. So you may use the microphone.
Yeah, go ahead. Just stand by your microphone.
Okay. Can you hear me, Molly?
Yeah.
All right. So Springy Point, we are waiting to onboard 3 selected summer rangers. We were given approval the first week of June we submitted exemptions for 5 positions, three temporary, 2 permanent. Those were either vacancies or people who left under the federal government's deferred resignation program that's going on right now. The government's also in hiring freeze, which is why we had to go for exemptions. So we are not approved for our permanent staff, 1 permanent park ranger and 1 maintenance worker. But we did get approval for 3 summer rangers. Those are local temporary positions. We got approval on June 2nd, and it took until about 2 weeks ago for the Office of Management and Personnel in DC to unlock those positions. And that allowed our office to move forward with tentative offers, background checks, fingerprints, all that kind of stuff. So these kids are working hard to get the ball out of their court back into HR's court so that we can onboard them. I am hopeful that I will hear, I mean, I have an update from today that their background checks are processing. I'm hopeful to hear next week that they have been cleared, and we can move forward with a permanent or a job offer, permanent job offer. And at that point, we would notify the public to open Springy Point for day use. So my maintenance team, as few of them as there are right now, they're ready to get the park open, safe for the public. We're just kind of waiting for those last 3 people who are in uniform, who can be there to support the public when they need them, as far as enforcing rules and regulations, cleaning up trash, and making sure everybody has a safe and enjoyable experience at the rec area. So that's my update.
It's very good news. Thank you.
Yeah, not great news, but better news. Wish I had better news.
Well,
but
Taylor, we appreciate you being here today. Thanks for an update. Like I said, anybody who would want to watch this, at least they have a little bit of an update. So appreciate you
sure.
speaking on the spot.
Yeah, and I have, the course here to answering questions about lake levels or spillway gate or whatever else the board's interested in.
Yeah.
In the 6 seconds, any idea on when the drawdown's going to start in the fall?
We have not picked we haven't gone that far into our projection yet. Typically, drawdown happens the 3rd week of September.
Okay.
So we're working with our water manager on that. We'll get an announcement out to the public, but that's typical, 3rd week of September.
Thank you. We're out of time. I move we adjourn.
Okay. Anybody else last minute anything? I think this has been good as usual. So move to adjourn. Second?
I second.
Second. All right. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh.